Well, good morning. It's Tuesday morning and it's a beautiful start to the day. Nice cool breeze. The sun's coming up bright and shiny. My brother Billy Boone, he'll probably tune in here in a minute. We have some accountability, try and go back and forth, and I always send him my morning workouts just as a way of accountability. He and I were at a church fellowship, and we both had put down a significant amount of food. I looked at him and I said, man, we got to do better. He said, yeah, we do. So we started trying to pay attention and do better. And one of those ways for me was to start sending him my morning workouts to keep me motivated to keep going and doing it. And so this morning I sent it to him, and I wasn't sure if he got it or not because it had a funny little thing. So I sent it twice. I just take a pic. I record my, good morning, Candy. So glad you're back. And I hope our little baby girl is doing okay, feeling better, and back at school today. So anyway, I just take a screenshot of my workout. I record my workout while I'm going along, and then I text it to him, and he'll normally send something back. Good morning, Cassandra. This morning he got back. He sent back. He said, "I got it. Now I'm going to be a fisher of men." That's my boy right. That's my boy right there. I don't know how you all grew up. People that grow up in homes with siblings, depending on how close together you are in age, and sometimes that doesn't even matter. You have different stories about what it's like. In ministry, over 4 decades of ministry, I've been able to minister to families where the siblings all got along, and that's just weird to me. They were all like, just this unit of little soldiers that did their stuff together, and they always spoke highly of each other, and it's just not what you normally experience with siblings. My brother and I were not at all not at all like that. He's 4 years older than I am, which now doesn't make any difference at all. But when we were kids, it made all the difference in the world. His room was at the end of the hall. My room was about halfway down the hall on the right. And, I annoyed him. I was an annoyance to him. And so we couldn't pass each other in the hallway without getting into a fight. And let me define for you what getting into a fight meant. Him beating the snot out of me. And so my whole childhood, he would just wail on me. And then finally we got to a point where he was, being 4 years older than me, he went on and did his own thing or whatever. And through a series of events, we wound up having to move from Tennessee back down to Georgia. And my grandfather rented a house for us, which ultimately we took over. But I started wrestling. My freshman year in high school, I started wrestling. This is my, the end of the wrestling season. And I took to it quickly. I was always pretty athletic, which is really weird because I was just a fat kid, fat and lazy. You give me a double jumbo bag of Ruffles potato chips and a full Cool Whip bowl of homemade ranch dip that my mom would make with that Hidden Valley Ranch powder and some sour cream, and I'd sit there and eat that whole bowl of dip and all them chips, wanting more. But as I got a little bit older, I got into sports, praise the Lord, and that changed everything for me. And so I came home from wrestling practice. My freshman year, I probably weighed about, 125 pounds. Good morning, Maureen. And so it doesn't matter how it happened, but anyway, I was coming down the hallway. This is at Mom's house. This is around Christmas time. And there was a thing in the hall, and I threw it, and some things were said or whatever. And my brother says, "I'm going to show you." And he comes out. Well, I literally just walked in the door from wrestling practice. And he grabs me. Now, my whole childhood, when he would grab me, that would just mean that I would just go to swinging at his kneecaps or grabbing at him any way I could, because I wasn't just going to lay down and let him beat the snot out of me. He was going to at least have a little fingernail scratch or something. And he grabbed me. And for the first time, without even thinking, I put him in a fireman's carry. And it was like, you couldn't see it, but the heavens opened and the angels started singing. And here's what I heard. Are you ready to rumble? And we went up and down the hallway, tearing everything up and down the hallway. Somehow or another, we wound up back in the front part of the house and we wound up in the living room. Remember I told you this was around Christmas time? We busted a chair or something, and we both went into this thing, this little nightstand table, and as we hit it, Tim's got his hands around my neck about to choke me out, and I look up and I see the ceramic Christmas tree. I don't know if any of you have this or had this growing up, but in the 70s, it was the thing. The ceramic Christmas tree. Some people had white ones, some people had green ones, and they had these little plastic lights that stuck into it, and it had a bulb in the middle of it, and it would light up, and it was beautiful. And if you didn't have one, how could you even celebrate Christmas? Mom's ceramic Christmas tree had made it through 2 house fires, had made it through all these moves. It was the pinnacle of the celebration of Christmas time in our home, and I saw that thing starting to go down, and I was like, that tree! Immediately, fight was over, and we're trying to find super glue. That thing busted. I got done gluing that thing back together. I was like, perfect. You can't even tell, really, except for about 400 different places where there ain't no green and there's white ceramic showing through. And fight was over. That was the last time we ever got into a fight. And it was ugly. We quickly united over the process of trying to get that tree put back. Glued back together. There is something about when brothers make an amends and they say enough is enough. This fighting is stupid. And I don't know that we ever officially made that declaration, but we just decided that it was easier to be brothers than to be enemies. That and the fact that I started getting a lot bigger in college especially. But you know, my brother and I now have each other's back. If you came at him, you'd be coming at me and the other way around. And we're both very amiable, nice, sweet, loving people. Very, very polite. But if you mess with us, we will cut you. You hear me? And so in chapter 133 of Psalms, this whole chapter is talking about the unity of brothers. And the beauty of that unity, because what it does is it allows God to permeate the whole family. And so it says, behold how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. How good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity, when we can live together in unity. What does that mean? In medieval times, literally unity meant when we were coming in for battle, we might have a sword in one hand and a shield in the other hand. I would link my arms through the soldier next to me and hold my shield, sword at the ready. And this guy would link his arm through me, his shield. My shield is covering, his shield is covering me, my shield is covering him, and we continue going through like that. What does it mean? It means we are unified. We are battle ready. And when brothers and sisters and Christian brothers and sisters unify, God is able to work through us in a mighty, mighty way. Behold how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. And then down to verse 3b. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life forevermore. What is the benefit of unity? Life forevermore. What is the payoff? Life forevermore. What are we sharing with those people who are not unified? We are sharing with them what a unified life looks like, and then the payoff of that unified life. Life forevermore. I don't ever want to, I said yesterday or one of the days, I think it was yesterday, I was talking about our enemies. Was that yesterday? Let me have a little look-see. That was yesterday. When he was talking about enemies, and I said I don't really like to focus on enemies too much. Do you know how you have enemies? It's the same way that you have an argument. You cannot have an argument unless 2 people are arguing. You cannot have a fight unless 2 people are fighting. If someone wants to have an argument and they're yelling at you and you do not yell back, you just have a person yelling. If someone wants to have a fight and they're wanting to fight you and you don't fight back, you just got one person swinging and screaming. It takes 2 to tango. And so if we find a way to say, you know what, the only way that you become my enemy is if I make you my enemy. If you're someone who dislikes me, if you're someone that even hates me, if you're someone who would love to see my demise, that doesn't have to make you my enemy. That makes you a person who has issues that you need to work out. I'm not responsible for your hatred, you are. And I don't have to let your hatred consume me. I can just walk away from it. And so in order for me to have enemies, I have to spend time developing a resistance towards another person, an anger towards another person, wanting to get even with that, and I just don't have time for that. So I don't really have any enemies because I don't give anybody that position in my life. But what happens when we become unified? Not only do we not have enemies, but the people that are around us have linked arms with us. We have linked arms and we're battle ready. We've got our shield in one hand, our sword in the other hand, and no one's gonna penetrate through this line because we are locked arms. We're ready to go. My desire is to be unified. And if we unify, no matter where you are, some of you watch all throughout the day and into the evening, you'll watch this. You won't be here for the live part, but you'll watch it later on today. And some of you are in Africa, some of you are in Alaska, some of you are all over the United States and in Europe. And we can link arms no matter where we are. Good morning, Gail. We can link arms no matter where we are and stand firm in our faith, unified. So my desire is to be unified with as many people as I can here locally and all over the world. I love you guys and I mean it. Have an awesome, awesome Tuesday. Bye-bye.